application that you will be using to build a series circuit. When you first come in, click on Values and Conventional Current. Now we can begin building. I'm going to begin with a battery. I'm going to change the voltage to match the example that I gave you in my analysis. I used a 12-volt battery. And I'm going to use the same resistor values that you used in that analysis, which were 15, 20, and 25. Note, I'm using this resistor, but when you do the lab, because you're using higher values of resistance, you're going to want to use this resistor. You can simply get to it by scrolling down and bring it over, and just as I'm setting the values on my resistors, you can set the value on your resistors. Okay, now we have the circuit elements we need. There's a variety of ways to hook them together. I'm going to continue to kind of think in terms of the ski lift analogy, and so I'm going to put them all on one side as I've done in class with you. Notice I have not connected them together. I'm leaving space so that I can use wires to connect them together. So later I'll be able to get my ammeter in there to measure. So the next step we need to do is connect up the circuit with wire. Notice you can just drag and drop and they more or less snap into place. Boom. Notice as soon as we made a complete connection, current began to flow. We're showing conventional current, so it's moving from the minus side of the battery up to the top of the battery and going around in a circuit. The next thing we want to do is be able to measure the voltage. All you need to measure voltage is the voltmeter. The voltmeter, you place one lead on one side because remember, when you're measuring voltage, you have to measure across. So now we've measured the 15 ohm resistor and we got 3 volts. We can just move down and measure the next resistor, 4 volts. And move down finally to the bottom resistor, measure 5 volts. You will notice that that corresponds to what we got when we analyzed the circuit. We can measure the battery voltage in the same way we measure resistors. And sure enough, the battery voltage is equal to the sum of the voltages on the resistors, as should be the case for a series circuit. The next thing we need to do is to measure the current. To measure the current, we will use this ammeter. What we do is we replace one of the wires. We need to open a wire. So one way to go is to click on it and throw it away, and then just put the ammeter in its place. Yes, it bent the circuit, but it's still our circuit, and we can see we measure a current of 0.2 amps, which is again what we got when we analyzed this circuit. So we have successfully built and measured a series circuit using the PhET app.